안녕하세요, everybody. My name is Kelton. I'm Pob Zeb. Pob Zeb is my mom name. I'm a friend of Colin Smith's. He's asked me to help out making a video too of Hmong to go on the website. So for myself, I've learned Hmong for about 5 years. Me and Colin have actually learned Hmong for 5 years. We started together. So we've been friends for quite a while. And I think it's a great thing that he's doing. I love the Hmong language, Hmong food, Hmong people. I feel very blessed to be able to speak the language and be able to interact with the Hmong people. So today we're going to be talking about classifiers. Classifiers are super important in Hmong. In English, we have them a little bit like a sheet of paper, a pair of shoes, a gaggle of geese. But in Hmong, they go with every single noun. So as you're studying Hmong and you learn a noun, make sure you learn the classifier to go with it because it can be completely different. For example, we have the word zi. Now, depending on classifier, that's a completely different word. So lu zi, that would be a fruit with that classifier. With this classifier, du zi, that would be a husband. And with this classifier, leng, then leng zi, that would be father. So it could be the difference between you asking, where's your husband to some guy, or where's your fruit at? And so just learn the classifier with the noun, and it will save you a lot of heartache. I've been there. I've made tons of mistakes. Looking back at my Hmong skills when I first started, and I was learning these, I was way off. So you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So we'll get started. So there's a lot of classifiers. There's more than this in Hmong, but I just put up the most common ones that are going to be heard probably every day. If not, then pretty common. So the first one is lu. Lu is very common. It goes with a lot of different words. As you can see, like round, large buildings, objects, abstract things. Those are all lu. And so we're going to write down a couple here in the box. And what you see, so we've got lu as a classifier, then we could have a building such as J, lu J, that's a house, or lu Ji. Sorry if my handwriting is not top notch, but lu Ji, that's an idea, that would be abstract. Or lu Dato, that is a country. And so, tons of different things like hat, shirt, watch, all of these things are lu. And so it's a very common one, very important to know, and you will hear it a lot. The second one we'll move on to is du. So du is for people or animals. Living things that aren't plants go with du, anything living. So spider, snail, crab, tiger, everything goes with du. People also go with du. But not only that, there's long skinny objects, such as a pen. A pen would be dumbi. A bridge is ducha. So we'll write down those for you. So we got du as a classifier, that's a U, T-U-S. And then we've got du jia, which is just an animal. Du to yao. I don't know why all these start with T, sorry. We got the name, which is just a person. So do people or animals or long skinny objects. If you want to pause the video and take notes, definitely do that. Each person learns differently, so make flashcards, do what you need. But ling also goes with du. So ling is only for people, and mostly honored people. So when we pray, we say, "Oh, what you ling zi." And so when we're talking to God, God is respected. So we say ling zi to talk about Father, to show him the most respect that we can. And so when you're talking about mothers, you can say, "Oh, she's a good mother." So you talk, you are telling her what she is, not just doing anything but ling, just to help clarify that she is a mother. Mothers need to be respected. Moving on, so ling. If you have questions, you could just use du for the most part, they will understand. But as you learn more, you'll kind of know when to use ling. So moving on, with Paul is for books, a collection of papers So, for instance, book is a collection of papers. If you look at the word in itself, then Paul, that's classifier, and then we've got no. So those papers, Paul is the classifier, turning that into a book. Whereas if we were to have dai, no, then that would be referring to one sheet of paper. So that's the difference between Paul and dai. Paul is for books, dai is for one piece of paper. So if you want to make a difference between those, then use the right classifier. Moving on, we've got 造. 造 is also a very common one. We won't get to it in this video, but there are things called noun compounds that you use 造 for. So you say 造给, and then 造给听操, which is Jesus Christ's atonement. Sorry, not a lot of church words. So 造 is for strings, such as you have a tie, 造给了吧, you have a belt, 造洗. So this is used for strings. So 造floor is a rope, and then it also is for abstract things, such as 造给听操, 造给 baptism. Sorry, I'm just thinking of all these church words. So 造 is a very common one. 造给 in itself is just a road. Sorry if you can't see that, I need to use a different pen. So 造给, the rope, road. Sorry, my mind is everywhere. Moving on. So jaw is where plants and foliage come in. So that's pretty easy to understand. Jaw would just be for plants, foliage. If you're talking about a tree, it's 长东. Just 长东. That is a classifier for it. If you use 独东, there's another difference for you. 长东, that's tree. 独东would be just a piece of wood, a board. So learning new classifiers, super important. Do it. Okay, 考. 考 to me is kind of like the thing. If you don't know what the classifier is, you say 考. Sometimes if you use it a lot, then you just kind of sound funky. But 考 would be if you're talking about like, oh, 考的, like that thing, or 考了个海, like the thing that you just said. So it's kind of a classifier. It's a funky word. It's kind of a fail-safe if you don't know what it is. If you're talking about that thing, then 考的, or this thing, 考呢. That is what you use. So 考 would be thing. Da is, I love da. Da is for tools or for weapons. So if you're using danda, a sword, I'll write these down for you. So da, R-A-B, and da, or da dia, or da dia. So you got sword, danda, or knife, da dia, or da dia with a spoon. So those are for kitchen utensils, weapons, sword, obviously, tools. Da dia, a pair of pliers. That is what you're going to use for all of those. And then the last one is ya. So ya is for periods of time. I can give an example of that because when I was learning Hmong, I thought a clock would be ya, which is completely off. So ya is going to be like in the morning. Ya shen zao, or ya zheng lu, or evening. Ya mong du, ya da shu, afternoon. These are going to be for periods of time. Does that make sense? I hope. Anyways, if you have suggestions, comments, anything, if I taught it wrong, let me know. I'm still learning Hmong as well. But these are most of the classifiers that you can hear every day. There will be some that you don't hear. But like I said, learn Hmong by talking to them. That's the best way. Talk to the Nidais, talk to the older folks, because they know Hmong. That's the best way to learn the language. And if you have questions, take it to them. They love teaching, they love talking, and they'll definitely help you learn Hmong. So, 我知道，신기로.